So I'm pretty sure this is the game I was telling you guys about, where it used to be a gacha, but now it's a single player. Which I don't know how good that could be.
Dragonsword Awakening is a game that's had quite the interesting journey.
Yes, please
As
rest.
it was first intended to be a gacha game, but somewhere along the line, the developers
I won't
decided
rest.
to turn ship and make it a $30 single.
I'll stream until PoE releases.
And just a few weeks ago, the developers Hound 13 sent me a review copy so I could play the game at my own pace. So today I'll be giving you my honest impressions after about 20 hours
I'll get rest.
of playtime.
Or League start tomorrow.
What the hell is Dragonsword Awakening? Well, at its core, you could think of it as a single-player alternative to games like Genshin,
my head.
Withering Waves,
my
without
zen.
the slot machine mechanic attached to it, and with a little bit of Dragon's Dogma, Monster Hunter.
But it releases at 1 p.m. tomorrow, which sucks. Why does it release at 1 p.m.? Release it morning. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, she's juggling that thing.
It's an action RPG.
How about the Ultimate Edition of Diablo 4 and got so annoyed I had to buy both DLCs as well? The DLC unlocks a class called the Necro?
Juggle enemies and face off against large boss monsters.
I know. Knock you back into bed to rest. No. This looks cool. Look, he's like on it. He's on the dragon trying to kill it. It looks like a mix of Monster Hunter.
Now, you play as Lute, or as I like to call him, not Link, a young boy who gets recruited by a group of mercenaries who are trying to make a name for themselves by taking on protection jobs and other work. And together with this rowdy band of adventurers, Lute soon finds himself facing a world-ending threat that he's far from ready for. Now, the most fascinating part to me about Dragonsword Awakening, though, is the gameplay design. Because everywhere you look, you can clearly see the architecture of a free-to-play gacha game.
Very gacha.
The character menus, the upgrade tracks, the gear slots, they all scream gacha. Except Hound 13 surgically removed the microtransactions before launch, and so what's left is this fascinating hybrid. A game that looks and plays like a live service title, but lets you earn absolutely everything by simply...
Wait, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Wait, I might play this game.
Now, this setup creates a really strange psychological effect when you actually start running around the world, and I personally call this the Phantom Gacha syndrome.
Yeah, it'll feel like you're playing a gacha, but you have unlimited stamina. Whoa, wait, this might be amazing.
Gacha games, your brain has been conditioned to look for the frantic rush to clear every side quest and hunt down every single chest because you desperately need premium currency to pull on a banner, as that banner generally has a very pretty lady on it. But here, that anxiety is entirely gone, because in Dragonsword, you aren't fighting a ticking daily login clock, and there's no energy meter locking you out of progress. Instead, the open world turns into a cozy, laid-back checklist where you explore the world on top of your mount, which allows you to climb mountains and even dive underwater.
Interesting.
The game also features quaint little details like a day and night cycle with changing weather, where specific enemies like
game looks familiar.
Graveyards only show up after
Does it look like Genshin?
Side content also has personality, like a questline involving a Marmot King that is pure and dumb hilarity, complete with whack-a-mole minigames. There's even a questline about cooking food
the marmot.
A marmot named
They're killing it.
Who, yes, is a Gordon Ramsay stand-in. Forehead wrinkles and all.
That's funny.
Where's the lamb sauce?
There are also metric tons of these simple little environmental puzzles, albeit they can get a little repetitive. Like this one where you have to place specific stones on platforms whereby you are rewarded with a chest for completing them. Or this one where you have to restore statues, which will let you instantly revive your team once the statue is rebuilt again. And around the world, you'll find these windmills that, when activated, will remove Fog of War from your map and allow you to take off flying.
It looks like Mondstadt.
Then there are platforming sections, flying minigames, and more, so there's quite a few things to do in the open world. There's also a co-op system in place.
We have been missing something all stream. What?
But I haven't had the opportunity.
What have you been missing?
So I can't really speak on it.
Ears.
That said, there is a strange catch to this freedom from the gacha cage. You see, because you aren't chasing gambling tokens anymore, the exploration can lose some of that urgency.
Sip
Around
check.
hour 3, I'm
I don't
not
need
gonna
sip
lie,
check.
some activity started to feel a little bit like a chore, as you're opening chests for progression materials rather than the unexpected jackpot of pulling a 5-star character.
This looks interesting. How much is this game? Is it released?
But if you push through this early slump, the game will at some point feel like it switches gears. And for
Dragonsword
me, that was
Awakening.
around
$30.
hour 6, specifically when I had unlocked the characters I wanted.
Fudge.
That's when the system started to click for me. The map felt like it was opening up with more and more stuff
Coffee count? I don't want
find,
to
and the
get
real
water.
loop kicked in, which was
Coffee
to
does
push
not
my
count.
squad to tackle the high-level hunt challenges
Go get
and
water.
towers. With hunt challenges having a similar feel to games like Monster Hunter and Dragon's Dogma, specifically because you can cling to monsters as certain characters to stab them in the face, which is a pretty cool little element during fights.
This looks interesting.
And that brings us to the actual meat of the game.
Coffee is made with water.
Now, on the surface,
I
it looks
guess.
like a standard anime hack and slash game, or as some people have already started calling it, Korean Genshin Impact. But once you get a few characters on your roster, it transforms into a surprisingly tactical tag team combo puzzle. Now, there's no universal blocking or parrying in Dragonsword Awakening. You see, it's entirely built around precise dodging and mastering the so-called break and burst loop. You see, enemies and bosses have a stun bar, and your primary goal is to tear that bar down. Most characters can hold their own if you level them up enough, but the magic happens when you start leaning into elemental and status synergies. For example, I've been playing most of the game with Teresia and Kalian here. Teresia
There seems to be very interesting characters in this game.
Inflict bleed damage and smash through the
I'm wondering why they gave up on the
When
MMO
second
aspect of
stun
this.
bar breaks, a signal lights up on your character portraits, and tapping
And
that
they decided
button
to make it
swaps
single
your party
player.
member and triggers a launch transition
I think
together
it
with a
might have
attack,
worked.
like with Kalian here, the fire
Cost,
spirit summoner,
probably.
who has attacks that
Server
allow
cost.
for full aerial jungle combos, blowing enemies up with explosive firefoxes and damage over time.
It looks pretty good. I would change the numbers though. I feel like the numbers are a little too big.
Combos. Because if you just smash buttons and swap characters at random,
I wouldn't
you're
get rid of
missing out
them.
on the
I
biggest
really like seeing the
damage
numbers.
multiplayers and frankly, all the fun. But when you build a squad that sets up the launch, the tag, and the juggle, it feels incredibly punchy and so.
Yeah, assume so. No gacha, so no way for constant extra income. Wait, no, it was supposed to be gacha though.
Now, to pull up those huge numbers during your juggles, you actually need to build your characters, which brings us to how this game handles progression. So instead of pulling a banner to get new heroes or materials, this is tied to a milestone, as you get a letter called Fate's Invitation to unlock a new character every 10 main story missions, basically at the conclusion of every major story chapter. And instead of pulling duplicates of the same character to awaken them, here you need fragments of sacred light, which you can earn by doing various activities.
I think they got rid of the gacha in congruence to it being single player.
The mercenary core acts exactly like a traditional gacha reward ladder or guild reputation track, but without the expiring battle pass stress. Now for some other stats, you have the challenge tower, which features 3 different elemental doors with 30 challenges per door, and clearing these floors drops memory fragments, which you use to buy karma cards, this being another important tool to your build crafting. You see, you can only equip 1 karma card to 1 character at a time, and they give specific bonuses based on character traits. For instance, I bought a
it looks and plays like a gacha, but
because she has fire affinity, the card gives her a passive 12% extra crit chance and extra 10%.
But just the thing that you can like grind for the
to upgrade your main karma card to the passive stat. In this case, getting a higher crit chance. And just like leveling your character, you level these cards as well. And finally, you have the actual endgame gear loop. Here we have 5 traditional equipment slots: head, chest, legs, gloves, and boots. And every time you clear a dungeon, you get a random roll on the stat combinations. If you're farming for crit gear like I am right now, you're going to pull a lot of useless garbage, just like in most other gacha games that feature instances like these. But you don't have to worry about stamina or energy currency.
Nice, no stamina.
If you get a bad roll, you don't have to wait 24 hours or swipe a credit card to get your energy back. You can just turn around and refarm the dungeon as many times you want. Essentially, it transforms a frustrating mechanic into a classic infinite weekend ARPG grind that you can pick up anytime you want. Now, it's not all sunshine and explosive firefoxes, as we have to talk about the jank, because this game has its fair share
UG.
of rough edges.
12
For
months,
starters,
big
the targeting
W.
system is pretty rough
Thanks,
by default
UG.
and doesn't feel very intuitive. On top of that, my copy felt slightly broken because the camera settings I wanted to change simply wouldn't apply and save, which is hopefully a bug that the developers can patch up before or right after launch. The UI
Hi, UG.
also
How you doing
looks
today?
incredibly basic, almost like placeholder assets, and the
Might
camera
end
can
stream soon, though.
occasionally
Sorry.
feel clunky during fights.
My back
These
is
are
like
the kinds of quirks that you eventually learn
killing
to
me,
live
bro.
with once you
I'll try the
fully
ice
play them,
pack thing.
but you will absolutely notice them. Another important thing to keep in mind is that the voiceover is limited to Korean only for now, so if you find it difficult to play without English or Japanese voiceover,
I'm doing great. Just got home
this
from
could
Greece.
be a
Oh,
pain
how was
point.
Greece?
As for me,
Did you watch The
my
Odyssey
girlfriend
there?
has recently sat me through a bunch of Korean dramas, so I'm all about the Korean voice acting. Now, back to the good stuff. Of course, we gotta talk about the characters here, and thankfully,
좋아하세요?
they are not just empty designs meant to be banner bait. The personalities in the starting squad are incredibly colorful, and the voice acting gives them actual chemistry. Again, it's especially interesting listening to the Korean voiceover, and I like seeing an actual effort into making each member of the squad.
I'll put ice on it. If anything, use a
Johnny, the
heated,
leader, is
damp
boisterous
washcloth
and
for a sore
confident, much
back.
to his own
Really?
detriment.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Arya is calculating,
Why not
strategic,
both?
and
One
calm.
side
Stella
cold, one
here is
side
a no
hot.
bullshit type character who isn't
If you have
afraid to
Tiger
butt
Bomb,
heads
try to
with
work
people,
it
and
onto
she's
your back.
constantly fed
It
up
hurts
with
after a
John's dumb
shower.
choices.
Where it hurts after a shower.
조니 이 멍청아.
It was great. What about you, Sai? How are you doing? I'm doing great, except for my back.
그건 아리아가 특별 제작한 폭탄이다.
Dude, after the stream, I'm gonna race to the bathroom, bro. I'll race to the bathroom. I've been holding it.
멀쩡은 무슨? 유튜는 어떡할 거야? 너 때문에 기절했잖아.
Also, Lute, the player character, isn't some mute protagonist. This young man actually has emotions and constantly finds himself overwhelmed by his team and its erratic leader. The best part is that he actually
Hope you'll
talks
feel better.
almost
Thanks,
as much
Yuji.
as the rest of his
Hope you
comments,
enjoyed
which
your
makes for a
vacation.
refreshing take
Tell
on
us
the
all
typical
about it
Gacha
in the
protagonist.
Discord.
늦어!
바로 온 거야.
This guy looks like Link.
아무튼 좋다. 지금부터 단장으로서 너에게
지금부터.
특별한 지령을 내릴 테니
특별한 지령?
temper한 치료?
The story itself
무슨
doesn't play too safe with fantasy tropes either. It sets up a genuine
Alright, I'll share
mystery
pics,
here, and
W.
it isn't afraid to hit some dark emotions.
Did you go to the Colosseum? Is that Greece?
Die. The serious tone is balanced out nicely by the goofy hijinks and constant bickering between the squad members, which makes your
Heat
mercenary
is
band
almost
feel
always
like
the
a
way to
real
relieve
team
that.
rather
Okay,
than
I'll
just a
try.
collection
Maybe I'll just
of
take a hot
combat
shower.
stats and nice legs.
Maybe I'll just go out.
Speaking of
Freaking
nice legs,
so
we have to
freaking
talk
hot
about the visual
out there.
direction too, obviously. Now let's be real here. If you are a member
character
of the
design.
Hot Anime Characters Enjoyer Club, Hound 13 absolutely understood the assignment. Now I'm not sure entirely why, but
I feel
characters in
so
this game
bad
are
for
pretty
these like
different compared to other
I feel so bad for the character designers, especially when with like a not I don't know I wouldn't say dead game. Hopefully it doesn't die.
games. Proportions, for example, are different. Faces look more soft, and they don't shy away from showing skin. Now, in a standard mobile gacha, this kind of
If you can get
let's
access
say
to a hot
visually
tub, best
striking
thing. I don't
design
have a
is
hot tub.
specifically engineered to hold your wallet hostage on a limited battery.
I'll just do a sink. I'll block the
Normally
little
speaking, that is.
the sink
Here,
and then
well, you get to appreciate the studio's clear dedication to aesthetic excellence, completely guilt-free. So, if you're the type of player who genuinely enjoys open world exploration for the sake of exploring, being a general loot goblin, and looking at eye
I'd
candy
say use
along the
mine,
way,
but it's
this
empty.
game hits a very specific sweet spot. Ultimately,
Your
I would
sink?
say that Dragonsword Awakening succeeds as a very interesting experiment. It proves that you can actually take these
In
addictive
conclusion,
gameplay loops,
is it
you know,
worth
the
it?
progression ladders, the character building,
$30
gear modes, and make them genuinely fun by stripping away the exhausting daily logic
Hot tub,
chores, the stamina gating, and the pressure to open your wallet. Now, personally speaking, if the developers at Hound 13
Connected to our
plan on
13
expanding
feet
this
deep
world,
pool?
adding new chapters, or
Your hot tub
releasing
is connected to your
seemingly new
pool?
characters down the road, I would
How does that work?
absolutely support that. This is a surprisingly cozy but rough around the edges action RPG
Oh, at
that
the-
respects your
okay, I get it.
time and your wallet. That is to say, if you're a fan of this specific type of game, then Dragonsword Awakening is absolutely worth it.
This guy's
But
sweating.
those are
I can
just
see
my
the
thoughts
sweat
after
on his
20
forehead.
hours. Now let me know in the comments below if you're planning on checking this out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This has been Mr. Holton, signing off.
All right, peace out, Mr. Holton.